Hello, my name is Dustin Lindberg, and I'm a visually impaired man that lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I have my 2-year associate's degree in IT support. I got that from Hennepin Technical College in Brooklyn Park because that institution or that school is very good for people with disabilities. The whole community of Brooklyn Park is a good place to live if you're a person with disabilities because um, they have affordable apartments for you to rent. There's affordable places because some people in Brooklyn Park they take their spare bedrooms that they don't use and they turn them into like little studio apartments. So like you can rent a bedroom out of someone's house while like you're going to school. You can rent an apartment there for a good price as you're going to school. The buses that takes you from the single family home neighborhoods or the apartment neighborhoods and all that stuff. They have buses that'll take you from those neighborhoods to Hennepin Tech 24 hours a day. So if like your school class is at 8 p.m., you can like, oh no, I need to get this class. And you can just hop on the bus from the apartment complex you're renting and stuff and just bus to school. And I liked Hennepin Tech because it's affordable. I'm gonna say it's still expensive if you think about it, but it's still more affordable than going to a place like Anoka Ramsey or North Hennepin Community College or even a university or a private school. Hennepin Tech is like the cheapest option that you can go for your education that is not junk. So I tried going to community college. I went to Anoka Ramsey Community College as my first college experience, but I did not like the experience there. I did not like the way the school was laid out. I did not like how expensive the school was for the way the school was laid out. And I did not, me and some of the teachers there did not click. So then when I transferred to Hennepin Technical College, me and the teachers there, we clicked. I liked the school design. I liked a lot of my classmates and all that. So I really, if you're disabled and you want to go to school, Hennepin Tech in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota is a perfect place for you to go. And there's plenty of apartments for you to rent. There's plenty of townhomes for you to rent and share with your friends and stuff. And then it's good. It's a good experience for disabled people to kind of like get on their own and experience life. And then you can be a disabled person who doesn't live with their parents for the rest of their lives. And then after Hennepin Tech, I went to this place called Avo, Minnesota. Avo, Minnesota is a nonprofit organization in South Minneapolis next to Matthews Park that that helps you like find housing, that helps you find a job, that helps you, with counseling. If you're a disabled person, you have anxiety or stress, or you can take the bus, you can take the 7 bus from downtown Minneapolis to Advo in South Minneapolis by Matthews Park, and talk to the counselors there for a free or reduced price. Um, and enough also if you're disabled, you can take the a block around the corner from Avo. There's a place called Free Geek, and what Free Geek does is companies who don't need their computers anymore, they will donate those computers to Free Geek, and then Free Geek then fixes up those computers to make them look like they're brand new, and they will sell those computers, those used computers, at a reduced price. And that place is down by in South Minneapolis. It's just a block away from Avo. You can easily, when you get off the 7 bus at Avo and you do your stuff at Avo, you can easily just walk the block to be at Free Geek. And that's where I send a lot of disabled people to go get computers and stuff. Um, because the computers are like they're used, so they should be cheaper, and they're even cheaper than you buying a used computer at Best Buy because they're a nonprofit. So this organization gets funding from the city of Minneapolis, and because they get funding from the city of Minneapolis, they don't have to worry about, oh my God, we have to sell bazillion computers to pay our bills. They can just be honest, straightforward people because the city of Minneapolis is paying their bills. So so then I send a lot of disabled people down there to get computers and stuff, and so I do go to South Minneapolis a lot because my cousin lives down there. She lives in a luxury apartment down there. South Minneapolis is kind of weird because there is like luxury apartments next to shitty apartments next to single family homes. So so South Minneapolis is kind of weird. And then some of the single family homes have been turned into a bunch of little studios. So that when from the outside it looks like it's a single family house, but once you get in, they turn like all the bedrooms into like individual like studios, and then the living room and the kitchen become like the lobby. So, South Minneapolis is a weird place, but it's a really good place if you're disabled and once you're done with college, and if you don't want to live in Brooklyn Park anymore, you can live in South Minneapolis and have because it's affordable there for people with disabilities, and you can like say, oh, okay, I want to go to downtown, so I can go to St. Louis Park. You can take the train to downtown and then take the bus out to St. Louis Park. Or you can take the 7 bus, go to downtown, and then take the different bus to St. Louis Park. Or like the other day, I took the bus from downtown Minneapolis to Fridley. But most disabled people who are not working won't be able to afford downtown Minneapolis. So if you're a disabled person who's not working after you're done getting your college education, if you don't want to stay out in Brooklyn Park, um, or Brooklyn Center's really close to Brooklyn Park, and it's like a copy, but it's not as convenient. South Minneapolis, it's also a very good choice, and and as a disabled person, I would never move to North Minneapolis. I would never move there because North Minneapolis has too much gang violence and gang crime to make that area be safe for disabled people. If I had if I won the lottery, I would take whatever disabled people were in North Minneapolis and then and I would move them to Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, or South Minneapolis, or downtown Minneapolis, where I live, because no disabled person, in my opinion, should be living in North Minneapolis. Um, so if so, so when you're done with school, you want to start looking for places and start being independent. And the first thing you want to do is you want to go to a place called like Housing Link. And this place like Housing Link, they can help you find a house based off what you can afford on your social security or a place. And then once you do that, you mean you can move into your adult place. Like I would advise using Housing Link when you're in school because Housing Link is made for you to find a rental place for you to rent for years. So when like you're going to school, like at Hennepin Tech, I advise you guys just to go on to apartments.com, type in your budget, and then find it that way. Um, but once like you want to find someplace long term that you want to stay in for years, that's when I advise you guys to go to Housing Link, because Housing Link will help you find a house or apartment for you to rent that you can live in for 5 to 6 years. Um, yeah, so once you're done with school, if you want to stay on Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, that area, because of the good busing and the easy way to get to Hennepin Tech and the grocery store and stuff, I would just like use Housing Link out there. But if like you want to move into the cities where the public transportation's way better, you have way better services and stuff, I would use Housing Link, and I would check South Minneapolis or downtown Minneapolis, and just wait. And then Housing Link, they will send you emails. Oh, we found a place for you to rent based on your specifications, and then you can go there, click on it, go there and apply to see if they want you. And if they say yes, they will each company is different and how much they expect you to pay them and how they pay them if you're on Social Security. And then once you find your place and you move into your place, that's when I advise you to start looking for jobs. Um, so because first you want a place, and then you where there's good public transportation, and then you start looking for jobs. That's so, but because I'm a disabled person who works and I don't live 100% off my Social Security, I did it differently. How I did it was I got a job first because I was living with my parents when I went to school. And then I saved up my money, because Social Security has a special bank plan for disabled people who are working, where they can put their money and it doesn't hurt their Social Security. So I put my money into this bank account plan that's owned by Social Security, and I saved up my money. And then when I was working at Nordstrom Rack when I was done with college, and Total Wine when I was done with college, and CVS when I was done with college. And then I just built up my wealth, and then I used that money to help me move to downtown Minneapolis. So I used that money to pay the down payment for my apartment. If you are like on Social Security and use Housing Link and you get into low income housing, those apartments don't really have a down payment on it, because they're funded by partly by the state or by the county or by a city. So they can't really do that to you. But if you go private like I did, you have to pay that kind of shit because it's private. They can do whatever they want. So then, I paid the down deposit. I paid the first deposit. I paid that oh yeah, if I destroyed the place, you can take this money. And I paid the first and second month's rent. And I used the money that I saved up while working to do this. And I paid for it. I got it. I got in. And now I'm a disabled person living in a regular people apartment building. All my neighbors around me are not disabled, like me. They're just regular people working regular jobs. And I actually like it because um, my apartment building is very, very, very safe, because when everyone works just like you and everyone's working just as hard as you, everyone kind of respects each other and respects each other's stuff, because we know, okay, if we damage this window, the apartment gets that money from that window from the tenants, and then they have to raise the rents to cover that window that someone damaged. A lot of people who live in low income housing, because they only pay like $500 to $600 worth of rent, and the rest is covered by the state. If they accidentally break a window, the county just covers it, and their rent doesn't go up. But if you're a private apartment like me, if someone smashes a window and the apartment is like, well, we have to raise rent because we need to cover the cost of that window. So the people in like a private apartment building, like me, that work really hard, we don't want the rent to go up. So we treat the building with a lot of respect and care. Um, and also when like you're working like as many hours we do, when you come home, you want to come home to a nice apartment building in a nice place, and you want to sleep in a nice place. Um, so so just keep that in mind. There's different avenues you can go. Yes. And I'm a disabled person who doesn't live with his parents. I live by myself. I don't have a dog. I don't have a cat. I don't have any pets because I work so much that I don't have time to take care of those animals. My parents live down in Fort Myers, Florida. Um, and when I need help, I will just call them and say, Mom, Dad, I need help. And then they will like Venmo me money or Venmo me money, and then I'll just say, "Don't worry, Mom, I'll pay you back." And then I use whatever the money I need it for, and then on my next paycheck, I'll Venmo my mom that money back. So, my mom lives in Fort Myers, Florida, and she and my stepdad lives down there. My real dad and my stepmom still live in Otsego. I can't live out in Otsego because the public transportation out there sucks. The only public transportation they have out in Otsego is Uber. And Uber is expensive. Like when I lived out in Maple Grove with my mom, I used to take Uber a lot because public transportations out in some suburbs suck. So if I did move out there with my dad, I would easily take Uber again. I would easily take Uber again. Um, the issue is the Uber costs like double the amount of public transportation. So then, I won't, when I take Uber, I can't do as many things. I don't have as much opportunities because Uber takes more of my money. So, yeah, and then you can't do things every day because when Uber costs you $18 one way and $18 coming back, that's almost like for me a week. $18 for me is a week of groceries. So so then it kind of shuts down your opportunities. So that's why I now live in town, because when one ride only costs you like $2 away, that only costs me like $4 to get to work and back. And then then all my money is not like disappearing, and then I actually have money to buy my weeks of groceries, and then I can do something, then I actually have spare money to do something fun. So my parents still live in Otsego, and my dad's like, "Come live with me and have a good life, and where like you can be stress free and blah blah blah." And I told him, "No, I'm not going to do that because I want to live an independent life that I know that I don't have to rely on him to do everything for me, like drive me to work, drive me to my appointments. I rather like, oh, cool, HCMC, my doctor is a block away. I can just walk there. Or, oh, yeah, my vision place is in St. Paul. I can just hop on the green line, get there in 45 minutes. Green line's a train, by the way. And the train will literally drop me off right in front of it because I go to the University of Minnesota for my eye appointments because the University of Minnesota has the best eye doctors in the state of Minnesota. And then then I can easily get to the University of Minnesota, do my eye appointments, and just live. And I don't need like, Dad, can you please help me? I don't have to do that. I can just just do it. And also, my dad doesn't like town, so convincing him to drive me to town will be like pulling out my own teeth and hearing me scream. So, yeah, and then so if you guys need help getting a job at Nordstrom Rack, McDonald's, um, Cub Foods, Mall of America, DCM Services, or like CVS or Total Wine, let me know and talk with me, and I can see if you can use me as a reference, and then you can get in and start building your career. So then you can start living as an independent adult. Um, I also um, bought myself a bunch of furniture for my apartment um, by myself. I saved up my money while working at the Mall of America, and I went to Walmart and I bought my furniture from Walmart. I took the bus from here to Brooklyn Center when Brooklyn Center had a Walmart, and I bought my Walmart furniture because I'm broke as fuck. So I buy my stuff, a lot of stuff from Walmart, and then I had them Walmart deliver it to my apartment one day I have had off of work, and then the people at Walmart assembled my furniture. Now that Walmart's closed, next to my work in Bloomington, literally the one bus stop over from my work in Bloomington, I can go to Walmart to buy my groceries there, blah blah blah, then take the bus back to downtown and with my groceries. Um, so I love living in downtown Minneapolis because I can take, like, the other day when I wanted me when my brother needed to come pick me up because he needed to drive me out to my dad's house so I can see him for his birthday and my stepmom for Mother's Day. I just hopped on a Brooklyn Park bus, went out to Brooklyn Park, able to pick me up in Brooklyn Park. And then when I need to go back home for work, he just dropped me off in Fridley on the other side of the suburbs. I just hopped on the bus, took the 10 bus, came back in the downtown, and yeah, it was an hour and a half bus ride because Fridley is further out from downtown Minneapolis than Brooklyn Park is. But I was still able to get home fine. The bus dropped me off a few blocks from my apartment. I just walked the 2 to 3 blocks, and then boom, I was home. I was after my brother just dropped me on a bus line. I was able to get home fine. So the good thing is, and then I can get out to St. Louis Park to go shopping. I can, no regrets. Um, what else has changed? Yes. Um, I do now know how to do my own taxes and all that stuff because that's what's changed. And I now do debt collections because the Mall of America was kind of stressful on my disabilities. So now I work in debt collections. I deal with dead people. So I'll explain to you that in the next recording.